is the Darkness Falls patch notes for Smite, because apparently now, if they don't put numbers in the patch notes, that makes it better. It means they don't have to put actual content in. They can actually just put nothing but skins. So now legally they can do that. Apparently there's some sort of legal thing that if you have it set up as the 6.Whatever, they have to have some sort of content. Now they're just naming it after their skins, because that's the focus. Let's move on. A couple of Jormungandr bugs, a couple of Merlin bugs, some other weird things. They've probably made about 20 more bugs by fixing these. But, you know, progress-ish. UI updates are now daily rewards don't reset. Cool, you can always get your gems now if you're traveling. They have a mixer store now because they really want you to watch Smite Pro League, Smite Console, Smite Minors. Minors and consoles have lost like half of their viewership just over Season 5. Not even counting Season 4 stuff. If that keeps up, that's a really bad sign. They were getting about 2,000 people watching Smite Smite Minor League. Now they're barely breaking 1,000. They're not breaking 600 for the console league when they were getting 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 before. Not even on their days on Twitch. Their days on Mixer they were getting that kind of numbers. So, not good. Ranked now has matchmaking and ELO being visible, and duo queue is back with a little bit more rigidity, so you can only play with people very close to you. We'll see if that makes the game better, if it makes it worse. We'll see if there's any change. I think that's worth going back to, now that they're going to do it this way. No more qualification games, which I think is great. Everyone's starting in bronze. We'll see. But if they're going to have these games where it's like, oh, we're totally okay with having a bronze 3. Like if you're Wolfie and you're a Masters, Grandmasters tier player, I don't care if they're willing to say, yeah, you're bronze, but we know your ELO is 2,300. We're going to place you up against these other Masters, Grandmasters, even though you took a week off at the start of the split. Have fun. That's fine. But if they give him they have to minimize how many games they give him with people who are legitimately bronze and golds. And I mentioned Wolfie just because I know him and I'm friends with him. But you kind of get the point. You don't want these games, if that's how they're able to fix it, then it's kind of arbitrary that they're starting everyone in bronze. It's not the worst thing, it's not the greatest thing. It's experimentation, I'm willing to see how it goes. A little bit more stuff with Volq, some stuff with custom games, whatever. Assault, don't give a shit. Okay, Conquest. Primal Fury is getting a buff to 7%. That's not a... They're right. I don't hate the change. What they really should do that they haven't is predictability. They need to add predictability. They really, and I've been saying this from day one, they need to make it so players know what the rotation's going to be for Furies, rather than it being RNG. So it should always be Gold, Primal, Gold, Oni, Primal, or Gold, Primal, Gold, Oni, or whatever they do. Whatever they do, it needs to be fixed, I think. Rather than it being this kind of like, oh, it's random, have fun, yay! Which can change how the game plays. I think that predictability doesn't hurt. That extra element of RNG doesn't add anything interesting to Smite. But the change itself, 5% to 7%, not a big deal. Helps a bit. I think it's interesting, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Adding spirit minions, I like how they did this for balance, to make it so you can get level 2 off of splitting 2 waves. I feel like this is just an ugly fix. What they're doing is they're adding a 7th minion to the duo lane. So that way, duo and solo... Sorry, the duo lane... Brain went haywire for a second. I meant support and carry can get level 2 after the second wave, rather than needing to wait for that third wave, where jungler, who's level 3 at that point, can gank and just ruin everyone's fucking day. Which is fine. I just think it's an ugly way to fix it. Oh well. Jungle rules, now invades are less fruitful. That's not going to change too much, because it's still... The big thing is that it makes profitable because you're denying the other team jungle farm. So I don't think that really changes why they're going to do it. It starts, so you get 1/3 less experience in gold, and it's going to be eventually 0 at 15 minutes in, decreasing linearly. Okay. Some visual feedback, whatever. Item balance. These are actually pretty interesting. Aussie is now going to be this kind of like, gives you a bit of everything, but it gives you 20% lifesteal, and that's actually a lot. That's only 4% back of Devourer's Gauntlets. That is 5% more than Bloodforge, and I think that equals Soul Eater. No. Soul Eater gives you 10% ability and 10% physical hit enhanced. That's a lot. It's going to be really good for lifesteal, and gives you a little bit of everything else, and it keeps you Aussie passive. It's now going to be 250 more than the Devo Gloves. It's now going to be 200 more than Executioner. You could see some builds where you might want to just rush Aussie, or go for that right after Boots rather than Devo's Gloves. That might be worth looking at. I think Aussie's back in a big way. Iqbal, not quite as convinced on Iqbal. 30% power, 30% attack speed, and you're getting up to 45 power if you keep landing autos, and reducing enemy attack speed by 10% each shot. That's pretty strong, but that's really going to be focused on if you want to be aggressive in lane and 1v1 the enemy hunter. If that's you, you've got a new toy to play with. So aggressive hunters will like this. These will both probably want to be like second or third item. Maybe a little later for Iqbal when you're not going to have this boots. But we'll see. I think these are really cool. These are now powerful enough to do interesting things. And Iqbal as a bridge item had some niche case uses if you were going to be a very aggressive boxer. Really cool. I like these. Ao Kuang. 5 damage less per hit. Remember, he gets 6 hits off of the Dragon's Call, so it's 30 less damage at every rank. I think they should have just looked at his passive again to give him a little less sustain. I don't know. Bacchus, Drunkometer. So instead of 14% mitigations, he's going to get 10% and 5% less per tick. Remember, this is 4 hits. So that's going to be 40 damage less at rank 1. He's really good right now. Bacchus, don't get me wrong, is crazy powerful. I think this might be a little much. Mostly the Belch of the Gods. I think the Drunkometer maybe nerfing a little bit of how much damage it gives. He's better than he was before. I don't know if this was it. This might have been a little too much. Kind of the same here with Regurgitate. Reducing its duration by a full second and cutting its CC immunity. Both of them, probably a little too much. I think I would have just done the Cone Auto duration and left the CC immunity alone. I think reducing the CC alone wouldn't have been enough. Bakasura is still going to pub stomp. Like, this isn't going to stop him from pub stomping, but I think this kind of takes him out of the high-end meta. Fenrir, everything fun about him is gone. Unchained, does less damage, 20 at all ranks. This is no longer the ability you want. First, this is his leap, and you only get 1/3 of the cooldown reduced now instead of half. So you can't just chain your jump. You can't just jump, stun, get a couple autos, jump, stun, and 7.5 seconds later, before factoring cooldowns. Brutalize, though, always will cleave. It used to be 75% cleave. If you had all your runes, if you burn the runes to do that. Now at max runes, it adds another 60% physical power over the course of the ability, 15% per hit, 30% to the outside minions, or anyone else in the cleave radius. I think this almost means now that... Excuse me. Big gassy. They're trying to kill Fenrir's support. And I don't know if they did and simultaneously made Jungle Fenrir any good. I think Fenrir might just be an uninteresting character now. They thought they were going to nerf Freya. Turns out I wasn't sure. It's one of the two. I said that they either made her better or they killed her with no in between. Turns out they made her better. Now she's losing 20% of her damage, 15 per shot at the high end. I think it's 5 shots. Slow's not going to be much anymore. And minion is a lot. And they reduce the scaling off the Aurora Blade. They can't... I like Freya. Freya's fun, but they can't make her balanced, and that's sad. She's either, like, bottom 5 or top 5. Sacred Monkey now will bounce between minions, but only hits gods once. I don't know if I like that. I almost feel like that should be able to hit gods multiple times. Neja's Ring Bounce can do that. Oh well. I don't know why they're buffing Jormungandr. Jormungandr was actually pretty strong. I feel like he was really strong. He's really a magical warrior, and they're not doing anything to change that. He's not a support. They need to do a lot if they want to try to make him a support. They need to give him some real CC, for instance. However, 3 more base protections, and his ult is now 100 seconds at all ranks. Okay. I like Jormungandr. I think he's very good right now. This is going to make him quite powerful. King Arthur. He's really shitty unless you know how to play him, and you're really good at it. High-end King Arthur play is ridiculous. Now Overhead Slash is going to ramp up. Okay. Overhead Slash will still up at max rank, do up to 50%, but it's going to ramp up. So he has short range bonus and full range damage. And the full range is less than the short range. Now it's going to ramp up to its original value. A little bit less energy charge off of the Twin Cleave Blade Sword combo. That's his 3. And now Sundering Strike Excalibur's Fury is going to do some more 40 mana. What I think they need to do is they need to nerf Excalibur's Fury. I like the mana cost requirement along with energy. I think that's good, especially because he can... They thought that having that energy requirement was going to make it broken. It didn't. With Excalibur's Fury, they need to take away some of the true damage, and they need to give him back some physical power. So I think it should be more dangerous on squishies, but it's just such a good all-around kill tool that just murders anything. Support, solos, whatever. Tanks. Tanks die to that. They shouldn't. So I feel like that's the change they need to make. Let's see here. Flicker is... let's see here. Going in order. Initial hit scaling off of Eclipse. Minus 10%. Whatever. I don't like Arcane Stance on Merlin, and I'm not sure if anyone does. Let's see. Gem of... this is big. Gem of Isoproc does not work off of Frostbolt. It used to. And it did 20% extra damage at all times because it applied the slow, then it applied its damage. So if you had Gem of Iso, it was always going to do the bonus damage. Now it doesn't, and now you have to get it from somewhere else. That's actually a big deal. That's going to change how you're going to want to build. I don't know if Gem of Iso is mandatory on Merlin like it used to be. And that Gem of Iso Frostbolt for free was a big reason why. And that was a big part of his viability. Blizzard's getting changed. Flicker's doing 2 more seconds at all ranks. You want a lot of cooldown on him anyway. That's still going to be a fairly long cooldown for him. But it is a 30-meter combat blink. So let's see. Neja is getting a nerf to the damage to Windfire Wheels. I think I always never counted as CC, but now they're being very clear about that. And now they're reducing... Holy shit, is that... At low rank, at rank 1, that is... 30... 60... 100 damage less at rank 1. That's actually really big. 100 damage at rank 1, and it's going to still be a little bit. It's going to be 60 at rank 5. So that's a big-ass nerf at level 5 to Neja's damage output with Windfire Wheels. That used to be a really good tool, just as an execute, basically. feel like they should give him some more physical scaling off of the Windfire wheels to compensate for that. And now Universe Ring Toss is now always going to be a bit weaker, but it needs to scale up the debuff. Okay. Universe Ring Toss does a crazy amount of things anyway for Neja. That's fine. Pele, a little less damage at all. Basically, just in general, less damage. So, like, she's good, but I don't think she was getting played as much just because of how many good assassin picks there are right now. Ra gets a little bit of a buff from his protections, fine. He still dies immediately. Rum gets a little bit of usability, fine. It's on his mana, you're usually buying Devil Gloves on him. Makes sense. Vamana, now that his ultimate's really good, he's doing a little bit less damage, and he's got a little bit less of control. So you're still going to want to build Haste and Katana on him now, which is fine. Like, you're still going to do that. I think these are all good. Looking back through these, a few of these changes I think are kind of superfluous. Ra, Realness doesn't matter. I think they went a little overboard on a couple of characters. They didn't do enough for King Arthur. But overall, I actually think this is a pretty good patch. As critical as I am of high-res a lot, and because they deserve it, I think a lot of these are addressing some of the top meta problems, and I think they did a pretty good job overall. So let me know what you think. Follow